Hello listeners, my name's Jarvis Cocker and I just wanted to remind you that you're listening to the Joel Kafetz Show. Enjoy it.
Now, the BBC lesbian drama Lip Service has been a ratings smash, and the first series is about to come to a gripping climax, probably in more ways than one, frankly. And I'm delighted to say that Ruta joins me live on the phone. Hello, my dear.
Hello.
First of all, congratulations on the success of Lip Service.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How was it for you playing the amazing character who's Frankie?
Frankie was a brilliant part to play because she's so meaty, she's so all over the place, and I had to do a hell of a lot of work to try and make her real and human. So that was quite fun to play. And then
she always looks a bit pissed off in a way, doesn't she? And not always though. So I mean, she's such so many different dimensions to her character. She's obviously really troubled, and there's a lot going on there, really.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember that I think a lot of people are like, oh, Frankie's always, got a real cranky face on, but you've got to remember where she's come from. She's grown up in quite a hideous environment where, as far as she knew, like she had, her parents had died at a young age. She was staying with an uncle who hated her, and she felt totally out of place with everyone except Kat. So, she's just very defensive of herself, and she's kind of very wary of people hurting her. So
of course, no, absolutely. She's a bit of a heartbreaker, bless her.
She is.
And but the main thing, well, one of the big things I have to say I've noticed, she's got incredible hair. I think you suit short hair, as I know in previous parts you've always had quite long hair, haven't you?
Yeah, it was quite nice to actually have an excuse to cut it off. I'd always wanted to have short hair, but every job that I was doing just seemed to love this big, long, glamorous mop that I had on my head, so I had to keep it. And then when the part came and Harriet Braun, the creator, was like, we're going to have to cut off your hair, and she was embellishing it in the audition, thinking, yeah, we're going to have to cut it all off. And little did she know that as soon as it came to the haircut day, I was like, do it, whatever, I don't care, just get it off.
That's so funny, because I thought you were going to be like one of the models in America's Next Top Model that cries. Do you know what I mean? I think if I had long hair and I had to do that, I may be a bit like that. I mean, so it wasn't emotional for you at all. You were up for trying a different look.
No, I really, if anything, it was just liberating and freeing. And I think the image that you present sometimes can hinder what people think of you, and so it was nice to play a part where I got to change my look a bit and to for people to see me in a different role.
No, absolutely. We need to talk about the sex scenes, Ruta. Okay. there are rather a lot of them with your character Frankie. What were the sex scenes like for you?
Well, every time I've done a sex scene in the past, I mean, then obviously not the most sexiest of things when you're doing them, because they close the set so it's only the essential people there in the room, but you've still got at least 20 people in there, and you've got a camera up your bum and a boom over your head, and it's really not very sexy. But to me, especially with Frankie's scenes, I took them like any other scene. You've got an intention to play, you've got a relationship there, and always with Frankie, her sex scenes always come after some sort of emotional deal that she's going through. So there was a very clear intention with each of them. So if there's ever any embarrassment that goes on, you kind of think about what the character's going through and you just get on with it, really.
No, I know what you mean. I was in the London Gay Men's Chorus Christmas Panto last year, and I had a stage kiss with Cinders, who was another character in it. And it just was one of the least sexual things I've ever done in my life, really.
Yeah, you think it's going to be, the paranoia beforehand is always, oh, I'm showing something intimate in front of people, but actually when you're doing it, it's really not intimate, and it's just another scene, another facet of a character, and you just get on with it.
And I mean, what's it like? Obviously, you had sex with lots of different actresses. Well, you didn't have sex with lots of different actresses. you acted in sex scenes with lots of them. I mean, was that strange for you, or was that all part of the job?
To be honest, I kind of got used to it. I felt sorry for the girls that were coming on doing one day. It was sort of, it felt sometimes a bit like a rotation, really. That like every day I'd wake up and I'd look on the call sheet and I'd be like, okay, who's it today? And it was actually, it got easier as it went on. And obviously I had a few scenes with Natasha O'Keefe, who plays Sadie, and that was Natasha's first job, by the way, which I think she did an absolutely remarkable job in it.
Wow.
And so we developed quite a good relationship, and I think just every scene I did was it got easier and less uncomfortable to play, I guess, in front of a room full of sparks and grips.
People, no, absolutely. And of course, this week we've just seen episode 5 in the UK, and the plot, I mean, I don't want to give anything away for our international viewers too much, but things have really come to a head. And a lot came to a head more or less because of your character, really, and the big party. And the fantastic Tess, Fiona Button, was incredible in the show this week, and the storyline really moved on. I mean, have you got any sneak peeks of what we should expect from the final episodes coming to the UK this week?
Well, it's very much a morning after the night before. So it was, I mean, when I read all the scripts, episode 5 to read was my favourite to read, just because the fireworks that go off at the end of that episode is just like a continual, like, oh no, oh no, oh no. So very much episode 6 is the morning after, and how the group deal with what's going on. I really don't want to say too much because I know I'll get into trouble.
I know. No, I'm not going to push you. It's fine. I'll get into trouble probably as well if I do. So I won't. But it's just such an incredible episode. And you're not a lesbian in real life, are you?
No, I'm not.
You're not. So I mean, how did you research the role?
I mean, I just research Frankie as I would research any other character, and I did have, it was great to have Harriet there. She was always in on all of the sex scenes, just to make sure that we were all sort of aware of what we were doing. And I've got many gay friends as well, so it's not like it was a new world I was entering into. It was just another role that I was playing. So.
Of course. Well, I read somewhere that the director of the show gave you the lesbian sex guide, which you read on the plane as you were going up to Glasgow to do the filming.
Yeah, I went up for a costume fitting, and he was like, just as I was leaving, he was like, I've got a present for you, and he gave it to me, and I was like, oh, right, okay, and he was like, I want you to read this cover to cover, because, I know you know what you're doing, but here you go. And I was like, okay, fine. And I sat on the plane, and then I opened it up and started reading, and I had this elderly woman on one side of me and this 10-year-old child on the other, and then I turned the page, and there's this massive naked woman with some kind of toy on her, and I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Both sides of me freaking out.
Oh, did you say it's for a role, it's all kosher?
I said it's my work, which possibly was the worst thing to say.
That's funny.
But yeah, I got a few funny looks for that one.
Oh, and of course the reaction to Lip Service, it's had incredible ratings and people have gone crazy for it. I mean, how do you feel about being, an icon for a lesbian audience, I suppose?
Well, I mean, if people connect with you and connect with a part, then that's all you can hope for, really. I'm so glad that we've had a good response to this show, and that people are identifying with the characters and getting really passionate about it. I mean, I know, particularly with Frankie, that there is such a split opinion as to whether people love or loathe her, and I really like that, because she is a very difficult character. So if I've got people either looking up to her as a kind of, or going, oh, I know how that feels, then that's good. And also, if people are going, what's she doing? She's being an idiot. That's a good thing as well, because it's sort of showing how you shouldn't be treating people. So anything that can connect with people is really why I'm in this profession, really.
Well, exactly. And you're so convincing, because one second I think Frankie's like the most gorgeous, lovely person in the world, and then I suddenly think, how can she do that? How dare she do that to Kat? I get very angry with her on Lip Service, I have to say. And you act so much with your eyes as well. It's great. I love the way I'm giving you feedback there. but no, it's incredible to watch you play that part, and so much different things happen. So I'm getting a bit schmaltzy here on the Joel Kafetz show, but there we go. I mean, is there any part of her that you like, or you kind of relate to in yourself?
I think any character that you play, you have to like in some way, and it kind of freaked me out when I started working on her, because I was like, how do I justify all these actions? She's crazy and she's being a real idiot. But actually, what I identify with Frankie is we've both got a very strong sensitivity. Frankie is incredibly sensitive, even though she might not show it. But we deal with it in different ways. So Frankie will hurt before she gets hurt, but I think she just hasn't grown up yet. She's not had a strong role model in her life. In fact, the only real mother figure she's had was her aunt, and she died. And then the next in line is Kat, so that's why she's got such a deep respect and love for Kat. So I guess I can kind of identify with that with people in my life.
It's interesting. Wow. And I just wanted to get together with the lovely Kat, but she always jeopardises it.
Frankie just needs to grow up a bit, I think.
She's not ready, is she, really?
Yeah, well, I think they've got a very solid foundation from when they were growing up together, and Frankie ran away when she was really still learning, and Kat's kind of grown up a bit. So either Frankie steps up or Frankie has to move on. Who knows what she's going to do?
It's exciting. I so hope there's a second series commissioned.
Yeah, it would be great. It would be great. We shall see what they think.
Who knows? And the second series, I think your hair should be a bit shorter. Even. Would you go shorter with your hair? I think
you'd have to talk to my agent about that.
I love it. I'm going to talk to Harriet and see what she's got to say. Do you know how in America's Next Top Model do you watch America's Next Top Model at all?
Do you know, it's a little guilty pleasure of mine.
Do you know how though they get, because I think you've got the features, you could make that hair work.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, what else? What other television do you watch?
I find it very difficult to watch TV because a lot of the time I'm away or I'm working and you don't get much time. But at the moment I'm completely obsessed with The Wire. It's taken me a long time to watch that show because I was on Lost for ages as well. Anyone who hates Lost, you need to go back and watch it because it's brilliant. It's
really?
So good.
Well, it lost me after about the second series, I must say.
Why everyone gets lost after the first couple of episodes because they go, oh, what? There's a polar bear. But actually, if you stick with it, it's so genius. One of the most intelligent shows I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
So stick with it.
Brilliant.
But after The Wire, I'm moving on to Mad Men, I think.
Oh, now I don't know what that is.
Well, you should get onto it because apparently it's amazing. I haven't watched it yet, but everyone says to me, once I finish The Wire, I have to get onto Mad Men.
Fantastic.
So,
and I feel like I in a slightly weird way, I sort of know you as Frankie, but obviously I don't know you as Ruta. I mean, what kind of things? I don't suppose you get much spare time, as it sounds like you're constantly filming. But what kind of things do you? Obviously, we know what Frankie enjoys doing, but what kind of things do you enjoy doing?
Well, I share Frankie's love of photography, so I really like my photography, so I've got a lot of cameras and I use that as part of a creative outlet for me. And when I'm not working, I'm either back at home spending time with my friends and family, or I spend a lot of time in America as well. So I mean, this past couple of years I have been working quite a lot, so that's been sort of my life. So in between, when I can take photos, and I painted it as well, so it's all creative stuff, I guess. God, that sounds incredibly arty, doesn't it?
It's good. It's funky. It's nice. Why not? It's so lovely to speak to you, Ruta. It's really brilliant to have you on the Joel Kafetz show. And
thanks for having me.
And say hello to Heather for me. Heather is, of course, performing.
I don't know if you can hear the screams going on outside, but they're absolutely loving her out there.
Oh, that is fantastic. I know. Oh, I know. I've had so many emails. So she's coming on the show next week, and she's going to be performing live on the Joel Kafetz show, and of course on the podcast next week. So say hello to her for me. I'm going to give her a call tomorrow and have a chat with her about it.
I absolutely will. She sounded excited when I said to her earlier that I was speaking to you. So
it's going to be so much fun. Yeah, lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Ruta. Take care.
Right, bye.